What's going on, guys? So I kind of got my work caught up around here for the day, and I wouldn't say that I'm bored, but I've got a little bit of extra time on my hands, so I'm going to try something just out of curiosity. I'm going to put some wheel spacers on this truck to give it a little more stance, and I just want to see what it looks like. I'm just curious. So basically, I had ordered these back when I had my stock wheels and tires on there, because I thought what I would do is just leave the stock wheels and tires on there, maybe upgrade the tires, but leave the stock wheels on, and then just use some spacers to give it a proper stance, which would basically put it out even with the fenders. Because that's the thing really that I hate about the stock wheels, is they have too much positive offset and it sucks them up underneath the fenders and it just looks stupid to me. So that was the plan, but then obviously I ended up going with a different wheel and tire combo altogether. So I didn't really need the spacers anymore. But I mean, as you can see here, this is an 18x9 wheel with negative 12 millimeter offset, and it puts the sidewall of the tire right there with the fender flare. I mean, it's pretty much flush down through there. Honestly, it's perfect. But I'm just curious, these are 1.5 inch spacers. They're not a 2 or a 2.5, they're just a 1.5 inch spacer, so they wouldn't push it out very much farther. So I'm just kind of curious what it would look like. I think what I'm gonna do is just throw it on here and not torque it down, but just throw it on here enough that I can kind of see, you know, what it would look like. And then, hey, once I get them on here, I'll show you guys, just in case you're looking at that kind of a combo. Maybe it'll give us a good idea of what these trucks would look like with some more negative offset. By the way, these Yokohama X-AT tires, they've been really great so far. I've only had them for a few days, but so far they've been fantastic. They don't throw rocks as bad as I expected them to, and the traction's been pretty good. They're super quiet. So far I like them, but anyway, that's another video for another day. Time will tell how those work out. So let's get some of these out of the box here, stick them on the truck, and just see what we end up with. Now these are made by Coyote Wheel Accessories, and from what all the guys on the forums were saying, this is one of the higher quality ones that you can get. I'm really not a big fan of wheel spacers. There is a little bit of an element of danger there, especially if you don't do them properly, especially if you don't get a quality set. And it just doubles the number of lug nuts that you got to keep up with. So I'm not a big fan of them, but anyway, like I said, this is just kind of a fun thing just to see what they look like. You never know, they might look absolutely stupid when I put them on, or they might look kind of cool. We'll see. So one thing about these Coyote branded wheel spacers, you can see right here, they are hub centric. See that? They are specifically made for this particular truck, so that they fit that hub just right. And the cool thing about the Fuel off-road branded wheels is that they came with what they call a hub-centric ring. It's just a plastic ring, see? And you can get these that, because this bore right here is larger, so it'll fit a lot of different trucks. But then they sell you these plastic rings, or actually it's not, you know, separate, it comes with the wheel. Just like that. And so now it effectively makes this wheel hub-centric for my truck also. This is something you want to look for when you're buying this kind of stuff. It'll help you to reduce vibration for one thing. It helps with balancing and all that. But it also takes a little bit of stress off your lug studs also. Okay, so this side is done. And there's what it looks like. So that's obviously 1.5 inches more. So effectively, this would be the same as a 9-inch wheel with negative 48 millimeter offset. You know, if you were to get some 9-inchers, somewhere in that ballpark of minus 50 offset, this is what you would end up with. Here's a view from the front. So you can see that it definitely does put the stance out wider. Beyond the fenders. There's the minus 12 side that's pretty much perfectly flush with the fenders. Minus 48 side. But you know, it doesn't look terrible. What do you think, Toby? What do you think, puppy? You just want to play with the stick, don't you? Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. It really doesn't stick out all that far. it gives it a little bit of an aggressive stance without really looking like a skateboard. So I don't know. You know, my thing out here in this rural area that I live in has always just been that I don't want to throw gravel and crap down the side of my truck. And if your tires are sticking out, that's what happens, you know. And so this is probably gonna sling some gravel. I do have the Bushwhacker OE style fender flares on there, which helps a little bit. I've got the custom homemade rubber mud flaps on there, which help a little bit. But that outer row of tread is probably gonna throw some gravel. So I'll have to drive on it for a little while and just see how bad it is, you know. If it sounds like shotgun blasts hitting the side of my truck, I may have to revert back. But hey, there you go. Doesn't look too terribly bad. Let's get another view from the back. -12. I really like that also. I think that perfectly flush stance looks good. And then the -48 is what we'll call it, because that's effectively what it would be. So what do you guys think? Should I leave it like this? Should I put it back the way I had it? I mean, obviously it's all personal opinion. Everybody's gonna have their own ideas of what looks cool on a truck and what doesn't. But, you know, the other thing I was thinking is this could be a little bit functional, because obviously the wider your track width, the more stability you're gonna have when you're towing a trailer. That's one reason why the Jeep Gladiator, if you get the max tow package, it automatically comes with the wide track axles. So, you know, the wider stance could potentially be somewhat functional for me. Might add a little bit, because I mean, this is 3 inches of additional track width on each axle, basically. So, I mean, it may actually help out a little bit. Who knows? All right, let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, just something fun I thought I would do today. If you look way down there, you see my new trailer, which is a 8.5 by 24 foot trailer. And this is the reason that I don't have a Jeep Gladiator anymore. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of guys have been leaving comments on my videos, basically saying things like, why'd you get rid of the Gladiator? Why do you have a Ram? The Ram is boring. Gladiators are so much cooler. You know, the Ram reminds me, this is my favorite one, some guy said, the Ram reminds me of when I was 12 years old and I went to the tire shop with my grandpa. That was a pretty good one. Look, I will agree with you. The Jeep Gladiator is a really cool truck. You know, I've had lots and lots and lots of trucks, SUVs, muscle cars, pony cars, Jeeps. You know, I've had all kinds of stuff. My family makes fun of me for all the vehicles I've had over the last 25 years. I have to admit the Jeep Gladiator is my most enjoyable vehicle, and it's the most fun I've ever had with a vehicle. I love that truck, you know, tinkering with it, modifying it, making it my own, the videos I did with it. I had a blast with that truck. I really, really did. But when the diesel engine came out, this new Gen 3 diesel engine, I decided I wanted to give it a shot and see what it was all about. And I didn't know how long it was going to be before they put it in the Gladiator. I didn't realize they were going to do that so soon, because Jeep has actually FCA as a whole has a history of really dragging their feet with new product. So I didn't know how long it was going to be, and it was already available in the Ram. So that's one reason I went ahead and got the Ram. But the main thing is the Jeep Gladiator EcoDiesel has a maximum tow capacity of 6,500 pounds. If you get the Rubicon, I think it's 6,000 pounds. As my dog is chasing a cat back here and scaring everybody. Thanks, Toby. Anyway, 6,000 pounds on the Rubicon, 6,500 on the Sport if you get the diesel engine. This trailer back here, 24-foot trailer, once I put my ATV in there, my son's ATV, my UTV, which is 2,000 pounds by itself, camping gear, you know, a spare battery, spare tire, jack, tools. Once I load that thing up, it's going to be almost 6,500 pounds, which would completely max out the Gladiator. Okay, so that doesn't leave me any legal payload to put people in the truck with me, any gear or clothing or anything, coolers in the truck with me. You know, basically what I'm saying is the Gladiator can't do what I need it to do. I love that truck to death, but it just can't do what I need it to do legally. You know, and I'm getting to that age now. You know, I used to be like a lot of guys. If it would do it, I would do it. If the truck would pull it, I'd hook onto it. I didn't care. But I'm getting to that age now where I want to do things the right way. I want to be legal. Don't want to have to deal with any headaches or drama. So the Gladiator just won't work. It's just not enough truck to do what I want to do with it. And the fact of the matter is there's a lot of guys out there who are using the Gladiator for stuff they shouldn't be using it for. I see pictures on the forums and on social media all the time of guys who are way overloaded. And if they ever got caught by the wrong DOT officer, they would have a bad day. So the truth of the matter is the Ram out here is just barely enough truck, because it's got a 10,000 pound towing capacity, but it's only got 1,600 pounds of payload. So if you do all the math, which I'm not going to go through again and bore you guys to death, but if you do all the math on that, I put my family in there, some coolers and things, what I've got left just barely is enough to handle this trailer. Truth be told, the truck I really need to do what I want to do is like a 3/4 ton or 1 ton Ram, preferably with a diesel. That would be ideally the perfect truck for me, because then I would be well within spec. I could tow what I wanted to tow, haul what I wanted to haul, wouldn't have to worry about it. That's really what I need. I just kind of hate to go up, to even a bigger truck. But anyhow, that's a long roundabout way to say, why don't I have a Gladiator anymore? That's why. I love the truck, but it's a want versus need kind of thing, and it just won't do what I need it to do.